بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. As you remember, we studied last session human dignity, and now we want to see what are the outcomes of believing in human dignity. The first thing is freedom, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given all human beings honor and dignity. لَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. This is the universal dignity that all have. We said on top of this, we can have extra honor by having piety and knowledge, but there is a minimum that all children of Adam have. And based on that, they are free. Allah has created them free. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, لا تكن عبد غيرك قد جعلك الله حرة. Don't be a slave for someone else. God has made you free. So, what is this freedom? In order to understand better different aspects of freedom, we mention three major elements. One is freedom in the sense of being able to choose, to have free will. This is something that we are given automatically. We are given by God the ability to choose. Human beings have no fixed option, no fixed route in front of them. We have always 2, 3 or more things to choose from. They can be There can be sometimes a choice between good and bad, sometimes between good and better, sometimes between bad and worse. Sometimes they're equally good or equally bad. There can be many different possibilities, but always there is something to choose from. This is, in a sense, a philosophical freedom. And this is something that no one can take it away from us. People can limit my freedom, as we will see in the second type, but no one can make me totally free from, choice, or, unable to choose. For example, suppose you want to study and there is someone who doesn't let you to study. There were times that education was for some class. Not everyone was able to have education. We have famous story that one of the Iranian kings, Anushirwan, who is actually normally called Adil. He was described as just, but he was not happy that simple people like, people who do farming or, trade or have shops to have education. In their system, education was only for the royal family and class and for the Zoroastrian priests. Ordinary people could not have education. So once, when there was a fight, a war, and this war needed lots of money, the treasure house was facing shortage. And there was a businessman who had lots of money. And they asked him to lend money to the government. And he said, I am happy, but please, if you could also let my son study. And he said, no, we don't take your money and we don't let your child study. So education was something which was banned for ordinary people. So, but if you are banned to do something, or you are forced, for example, they say, if you don't do this, we kill you, or we put you in prison, still you are free. Philosophically, you are free. You can say, no, still I want to do this. You may face some consequences, but philosophically you are free. No one can take away your freedom when it comes to your ability to choose. So, this is the first dimension of freedom. This is not something that is very complicated. What we normally mean by freedom is the second and sometimes the third. Second is freedom in the sense of socio-political freedom. Not just that you are philosophically free to choose. Freedom in the sense that other people would not interfere in your choice. They would let you decide what you want to do. Sometime in a society, either because of governments or some powerful groups or parties, or because of social class, or because of superstitious ideas, there is some pressure that people are not able to exercise their freedom. Freedom to speak, freedom to believe, freedom to exercise your religious duties, your moral duties. These are all different aspects of socio-political freedom. The third aspect of freedom is internal freedom. It's moral freedom. And that is to be able to resist against your temptations, against your lower desires, and choose what you are morally supposed to choose. This is very important. The second is also very important, but without the third, the second also cannot be sufficient. Because imagine if we have a society in which government, powerful people would not force you what you are supposed to do. But you are a person who is morally weak, a person who goes after instant pleasure, then they can manipulate your freedom. They can use your weakness and make you choose what they like. This is the power of propaganda. You are choosing. No one is forcing you, you have to buy this product. Yeah? There is no police or there is no prison if you don't buy this. But because there is some weakness in us and they know what is our weakness, they can manipulate our choice. Yeah? And we go after what they want, but we feel we are very free. We are very happy that I decided to buy this. Not knowing that if it was only you, you were not going to buy this. Or it was you, you were not going to vote for this politician. But they have carefully analyzed your way of thinking, the way you like things to happen, your weakness, your strengths, everything, and with some careful campaign policy, with using psychologists, psychotherapists, they program everything in the way that you happily follow their order. And you feel, it's my choice, but indeed, it's put into your mind. Therefore, the third type of freedom is very important. If you are able to resist against your temptations, if you are able to control your anger or your appetites, and take your time and think and reflect and consult, and then finally make the best decision, external factors cannot limit your freedom. They can create troubles, but in the end, you make the decision. So, we believe that human beings should have all these types of freedom that we have mentioned. Socio-political freedom, and also a spiritual or internal freedom, as they have also philosophical freedom by creation. People should be able to choose for themselves what type of religion to have, what type of belief to have, what type of ideas to have. This doesn't mean that every decision is good. No, you can make mistakes. You will be answerable to God. You will be answerable to your own conscience. But other people should not impose on you. Even if it is the best choice, it should not be imposed. Even religion should not be imposed. La ikraha fid din. We can help people to make good choice, but we should not impose on them our choice. So, this is about freedom. The next issue is safety and security. All human beings should be able to have safe and secure life. Of course, even we believe animals should have safe and secure life, unless an animal is used for food, or an animal is dangerous, and to protect human life you have to kill a dangerous animal. Animals should not be killed unless for food or protection. Means for the service of life they can be killed, but not just for the sake of leisure, hunting for leisure. We don't have such thing in Islam. Animals should be protected. Plants should be protected. But in the first place, human life has to be protected. We should not harm each other's physical safety or security. We should not also harm psychological safety or security of people. For example, sometimes maybe people don't kill you, but keep annoying you. They say you are alive. Yes, I am alive, but you are always, bothering me. You are annoying me. You are hurting me. You are humiliating me. It's not just a matter of being alive. You say, still you are breathing. Yes, I'm breathing, but you keep annoying me. المسلمون من سلم المسلمون من يده ولسانه. And believer is the one that others are safe with respect to his hand and tongue. Tongue is not killing normally. Yes, you can dictate to someone, for example, to kill, but normally tongue is for hurting psychologically or damaging someone's reputation. Sometimes people don't kill you, but they damage your reputation. They say, we didn't kill anyone. Quran says sometimes there are things that are worse than killing. Al-fitnatu ashaddu min al-qatl. Sometimes creating confusion, misguiding people, or damaging people's honor and reputation can be worse than killing. So we have to be very careful. May Allah help us to avoid hurting people. Zulm, injustice, is very destructive. The worst thing is to do injustice, especially with the people who are under our care or who are vulnerable. If someone is strong like me or stronger than me and I do zulm, still is very bad. But that person can defend himself and can react. But if I am in a strong position and the other party cannot defend, like my children, like for example, people who work for me and they have no ability to defend their rights, or they have fear. So the hadith says, إِيَّاكَ وَظُلْمَ مَنْ لَا يَجِدُ عَلَيْكَ نَاصِرًا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Be very careful, extra careful, with respect to doing injustice to someone who has no helper other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When, na'uzu billah, we put someone in corner and we think we are strong and we can attack or humiliate, and that person has no one to defend, and he says, Ya Allah, you are finished, destroyed. Because he has no helper other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he wholeheartedly is asking Allah for help. So, when we talk about security and safety in Islam, it's not just physical. It's physical, it's mental, it's psychological, it's spiritual, it's very comprehensive. When I go out of home, I should be feeling that I would be safe. No one is going to kill me, or no one is going to injure me, or no one is going to attack me and take my money, or no one is going to humiliate me. And also, I should be feeling safe that my family at home are safe. No one is going to hurt them or harass them. And we can have honorable life. So it's a very comprehensive concept of security and safety. The other outcome of believing in human dignity is equity. There must be equity. We don't say equality because it may not be necessarily a matter of being exactly the same. Like, for example, as we always, use this example that, for example, a good teacher is not the one who gives the same mark to all students. That's equality, to give the same mark to all students. What we want is every student should be treated with fairness, with justice, and they should be equal before the law, the regulations, the teacher, the principal, head teacher. No privilege for someone against another one. No discrimination. So, there must be equality, or more precisely, equity before law and before the government. In the society before Islam, in pre-Islam society, one of the major problems was that there was discrimination. They had very bad way of dividing people. For example, Arabs over non-Arabs, Ajams. If you are Arab, then you are much better, much higher, you are superior to non-Arabs. Or if you are from Quraysh, a special tribe, then you are better than people who are not Quraysh. And sometimes tribes could be fighting each other over who is better. On the other hand, sometimes there were other people who were, for example, and still maybe today we have this problem, that, for example, they say we are better than Arabs. Or, black and white. Sometimes white are racist, sometimes black people are racist. It's not that only white people are racist. Sometimes black can become racist because it's a reaction. But Prophet ﷺ used to say, there is no privilege for Arabs over non-Arabs, or non-Arabs over Arabs, for the white over the black, or the black over the white. The only privilege comes with taqwa. So you can be Bilal from Ethiopia, or you can be Suhaib from Rome, or you can be Salman from Persia, or you can be Ammar from Arabia. No problem, you are all brothers. It's only between you and Allah to decide who is better in taqwa. That is not something that even we can say, that you are better because you have more taqwa. That is decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot say, we give some privilege to this person because he is more pious. That's to Allah. We cannot say we give more salary to muttaqin. We give more, for example, bonus to those who do Salatul Layl. No, we love them, but we treat people not based on these things, because these are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to choose. One issue which is mentioned in the book here, how much time? Yes, is about slavery. As you know, slavery is a historical issue, and all major religions dealt with it. In Christianity, in Judaism, even in the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, before there was such a thing as slavery. What Islam did was, because it was a kind of established practice, Islam, instead of fighting it directly, tried to do few things. One, to stop new people becoming slaves. Because in the past, any tribe, any group who were stronger, they could attack and enslave the defeated people. But Islam said there is no way to enslave a free person. There is only one case in fiqh that if there is a person who is involved in fighting against believers, is kafir harbi, is killing believers and is taken as a captive during the battle, then this person has few options. One is to be freed with taking some compensation. One is to be freed just by having favor on him. One is to do something like, for example, teaching Muslims how to read, how to write, will be freed. Or it can be by exchange. Instead of them releasing some Muslims, they can be also released. Finally, if there is no other way that works, then this person can become a kind of captive, but no other way. This is the only way that if a person who has been killing believers is taken in the battle and there is no other way to free him, then that's the only way of becoming a slave. But then for these people and the people who were from before, lots of rules and recommendations to free them. For example, some sins cannot be forgiven except by releasing a slave. Or at least one option for compensation is to free a slave. Like if you break your fast deliberately, one kafara is to free a slave. Another kafara is to fast 60 days, for example, or feed 60 people. Or, for example, there are some rules in fiqh that people, because of marriage, then become free. Or people are recommended to get Allah's forgiveness to release slaves. So, very quickly in the Islamic world, slavery was limited and finished. But in the rest of the world, unfortunately, it continued. In the year 1860, not very far, there were more than 4 million slaves in the United States. We had fight between northern states and southern states over slavery. The southern states used to defend slavery. So, Islam says that no one has a right to take other people as slaves or even to limit their freedom, and they are all created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala equally. The next point is about abortion. One aspect of human dignity is that human life, even at very early stage, even at the time of pregnancy, even before birth, has to be respected. We cannot say we only respect newborn babies and onwards. Even a child who is not yet born is to be respected, especially after the soul is created. Normally, the Jewish say 120 days after pregnancy starts, then we have the soul. So, abortion is prohibited as soon as pregnancy starts, but after the soul is created, then it's very, very severely prohibited, because we have now a human being. When the soul is there, we have a human being. And even if the life of mother is at risk, you cannot kill the baby in this stage, because that's a human being and this is a human being. The only way that might be allowed to abort is if you are sure that you are either going to lose both or at least have mother. So if you know that the child is going to die anyway, just you can save the mother, then that's prohibited. That's permitted. But if you say there is a risk, 30%, 40%, 50%, mother may die, there is a risk that is not guaranteed, so we kill the child to save the mother. This is not possible. So it's a human being, and we cannot say which one is more important. This is beautiful, that you cannot say which human being is more important than the other one. Even a child, you cannot kill the child for the sake of a young person or an old person, or vice versa. Unfortunately, in the world, it is estimated that every year something about 42 to 70 million abortion takes place. Can you imagine? 42 to 70 million people are killed. And more than 90% are without any problem. It's not that, there is a health risk, there is, for example, chance of mother dying or whatever. This can be left alive and they will be born and become human beings. But unfortunately, because they don't see the child, they take it easy. If there is a child and they are killing the child, they feel bad. But because they don't see the child, they don't feel bad. There is a photo which had big impact on the world, and we actually contacted the photographer and we took permission to put this picture here. You see, this is an aborted child, and with the hand has taken the finger of the doctor. Did you see the picture? Yes. 89. This page. Yes. When you see this, how can you abort a child? These are innocent human beings that are unfortunately being killed in millions every year. Islam says that as soon as pregnancy starts, as soon as haml starts, implantation has taken place, no abortion is permitted. But this becomes more severe after the soul is created. So if before the soul is created in that 120 days, there is a really high risk for mother, abortion might be permitted. Or according to some jurists, if there is usru haraj, something that cannot be tolerated. For example, a person, God forbid, is raped and cannot tolerate having this child, and the society is not going to accept that, whatever. But this is before the soul is created. After 120, no such considerations can give right to abort. It's a human being. And even if mother does something to abort the child, or father, they are responsible and they have to pay diya, blood money, to the other party. And this becomes more and more severe. So, human life is to be respected even before birth. And this continues till after death. I don't have time now to go into that discussion. Maybe inshallah next week I will mention that even after death we have to be respectful to human life, and because of that we have to be respectful to the body that used to be body of a human being. You cannot say it's dead. We burn it or we put it in some acid to dissolve. I was traveling and saw in a flight magazine that there is a way now in Canada, someone introduced this. They put the human body into acid, but in a not a sleeping, like a slippery, in an angle, so that the person doesn't think of being drowned. Okay? But little by little, acid dissolves and finishes. How can you do this with a human being? This is a body of a human being and has to be respected, has to be washed, has to be covered, dressed, and buried very respectfully. To the extent that our hadith say, this is very beautiful, إِنَّ اللَّهَ حَرَّمَ مِنْهُ مَيِّتًا مَا حَرَّمَ مِنْهُ حَيًّا. Whatever you cannot do to a living body, you cannot do to a dead body. You cannot injure a dead body. You cannot remove the organs unless for the sake of saving life. That's another issue. But just as a routine, open the body and displace organs, no. And inshallah there is a beautiful hadith I will read for you next week, that even this can lead to paying diya. If someone removes the heart, for example, of a dead body, which if he was alive would have killed him, this has diya. You cannot do this. If we observe such respect for human life, whether it's in burial or it's a dead person, then no one would dare killing people. We have to teach everyone to have maximum respect for humanity, so that no one, one day thinks, I have an excuse to kill people. And I believe any game in which killing is done for getting a score has to be prohibited. It's against humanity, it's against morality. How can you make it a source of fun and pleasure to kill? And blood comes, people are exploded. This is immoral game. Why we cannot put in game feeding people, making home for homeless, giving, security to people? Why game should be killing and destroying? Then these people one day say, let's try it, in a real life. Let's kill people and enjoy. Na'udhu billah, it becomes, normalized and naturalized. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to appreciate the gift of humanity that we have received and show maximum respect to other human beings. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.